Good morning. Welcome. It is Wednesday morning to JP, Kathy, and the crew on the JP, Kathy, and the Crew Network. We are live from Venture X Studios here in Briscoe, Texas.
All right.
All right. You better be good times.
Good times. Happy Wednesday to the crew.
Did you say you liked my butt again?
No, I did not.
I
Never
just thought I
did.
heard that.
Never did.
I thought I heard that.
No, that's only in your head.
Oh.
You're a legend in your own mind.
My mother said that.
Is that it? Yeah, I was going to say. And I think Lori Payton once said that.
No, not once.
Well, happy Wednesday to the crew.
Okay.
Am I giving weather?
Well, yeah.
We're going to give Wednesday's weather. We've got a high of 98 on Wednesday and a low of 80. Some sunshine in the forecast like it has been all week.
And it will be over 70% humidity, which means it's miserable.
9,000% humidity.
Why do I feel like...
And that's JP's when he's his happiest.
Why am I feeling like I'm at Clemson University in the middle of football practice?
Well,
It's that humid.
is football practice happening, though? Speaking of football.
Well, we're going to talk about that. College
Yeah.
football is going to be a big topic today as they continue the conversation. Players have band together on two fronts, interestingly enough. There is a set of football players that play college football that have said, nah, we're not playing this year, and these are our demands. They've laid out demands, if you can believe that. Then there's a group that says, oh, no, we're playing college football this year. Get it together. We want this taken care of. And you're going to be surprised, but there are some politicians that have weighed in on this.
What?
Wow. Say what? Yeah.
What? Politicians never weigh in on anything. And we can say that we've been elected officials, JP, so we weighed in on everything.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're going to find out.
Is that something that you have to sign off on? Like you have to. Is that when you get elected?
You feel
Is that
compelled
how
to
it works?
repeat what the person next to you just said
I think it's the
for your own
incessant
Twitter
need.
feed.
Note to self.
I think it's the
Note to
incessant
self.
need to talk and hear yourself talk.
That's for your PR business.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, that's one of the things you didn't get in one of your fancy Ivy League classes, okay?
Thank you.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Well, that was interesting, wasn't it?
It's good.
He is fancy.
Is he fancy?
Why do you think we follow his directions?
Oh, okay.
He tells us what to do, and we're like, yes, sir.
Pardon
Like,
me,
he's the only
sir.
one who can make us stop talking.
I wonder sometimes though.
Yeah. You, me, both. No.
Oh, he
kidding.
was pointing to both of us.
So,
That was a back and forth.
I know, back and forth, back and forth. A lot going on out there. We're going to get to some local news here in just a little bit, but we want to go ahead and bring on somebody that's local to the Plano area that we met
To
a
North
couple of years
Texas.
ago. Well, Plano. Plano
He's
gets the
famous
credit.
in North Texas now.
No,
Dallas, Fort Worth.
No, okay. First of all, famous doesn't
We
matter
knew
to
him
this
when.
young man.
I know.
It's helping
all
others.
It's all about public service.
And he's from Plano, Texas. I'm not going to let you pull a what was that bike rider's name? Lance Armstrong. You're not gonna
now,
pull
why
a
are we
Lance
going with
Armstrong. So don't do
with an
this.
angry name when we have such a positive young man on the
He's from
screen?
Plano. He's from Plano, Texas. So we
Just
got
saying,
Jackson
they all
Turner
love
joining
him.
us from Into Y2C Charities. Good
Mwah.
morning, Jackson.
Yay, Jackson. Good morning.
So, first of all, Jackson, the green bow tie. That seems to become a signature. What does the green bow tie mean?
To me, it represents my logo, or if I can tell it, but my logo, I have the bow tie because it represents presidential, or if that's a word, but I want to become the president whenever I get older, and you have to dress nice.
So,
And I always wear a
That's awesome.
blazer before I could even walk.
but why the
I love
green? Why the
that.
green bow tie? Why green?
Green is my favorite color.
There you go. All right, your favorite color. So, what is Into Y2C up to nowadays? You were busy last year. You look like you're busy again this year.
This year, right now, we are starting up we did my back to school project this weekend. We did a whole lot of shopping for backpacks and school supplies to give to 100 students.
That's
And yesterday, we did a contactless drive-through, and we gave out the backpacks. And the thing that's so important about these backpacks is that we're trying to get everything on their list. And some grades may have manila paper, and some grades may have calculators.
So,
Scientific calculators.
so what did your charity do to be able to grab and hand out these free backpacks full of school materials? Who did you partner with this year?
This year we didn't partner with anyone. We just got donations through PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, everything really, and we tried to raise money to get the backpacks. We did Walmart, and we were there for a full 4 hours trying to get backpacks and school supplies.
Now, I know in the past that Tiffany Troxclair had worked with you quite a bit, and the American Legion. Were some of those individuals able to donate through PayPal and be a part of that again this year?
Yes, sir. They donated most of all the backpacks.
Okay, so was it the American
They
Legion
donated.
post then that helped out this year a little bit, or no?
This year, yes, sir. They donated 65 backpacks for
Okay.
the school drive.
Very good. So you partnered with the Ladies Auxiliary, with the American Legion, Post 321, and love Tiffany. I've known Tiffany for 30 years, and her husband Brian, and so that's always very exciting stuff. Why do you do this? Why aren't you out riding your bike? Why aren't you out, playing Xbox or what have you, instead of laying on a bunch of backpacks and helping out the community?
Whenever I get the chance, I try to go swimming, go golfing, and of course ride my bike too.
But you also give a lot of your time to your charity. Why? What's in your heart? Why do you do this?
I just want to make God proud, and God likes whenever you help each other.
And Jackson, I love you for that, because if you have not had a chance to meet Jackson, to make yourself familiar with his charity, we're going to give you that information, and we hope the crew jumps on and puts his information in our Facebook comments on the show today. You need to follow this young man. You need to help him out. You need to share the good word of what he does for others, because he truly does this with a servant's heart. There's just something special about you, Jackson, and we're big fans of you. Can't wait to campaign for you when you run for president. Sign us all up. You've got a heart for service at a very young age, and you've got a great smile. You're articulate. You're respectful. I know your family must be very proud of you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jackson, I'm really proud of you too, man. I appreciate the you're kind of showing us that it's okay to have something outside of yourself that you look to. I think most people. So in my business, we try and find a greater cause to bring people together, inspiring a shared vision. And you said something. You said to make God proud. That's huge, man. That's really big. So keep it up. And, congratulations.
Thank you.
Jackson, how do people donate to you? How do they find you and donate to you?
There is paypal.me/N2Y2C. And then it's the N and the Y and the C are all capital.
And then hold your logo up for us, Jackson.
There you go. Jackson Turner's Never Too Young to Care charity.
I
There
love
you
it.
go.
Well, can we get some? Can JP, Kathy, and the crew? Can we get some of those cool masks?
Yeah, what they need, some mask and some shirts.
I love it. I
There
love
you go.
it.
Well, Jackson, God bless you. Thank you for what you do. By the way, Shay Drake says hello from the Drake family, and they love you.
How much is great?
He's
All
so
right.
great. Hey, have a great school year, because Wednesday kicks off the beginning of the school year. So Jackson, have a fantastic school year, and keep us posted on other efforts that we can help promote for you and support.
Yes, ma'am. We still have a lot of school supplies left in the background.
Love it.
All right. Distribute. Jackson, tell your mom I said hello too. All right, brother?
Yes, sir.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, Jackson. You're
All
the
right,
best.
Jackson Turner. It's
Love
currently
y'all.
love you.
We love you too.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Such a great
7:43 here in
kid.
the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We have JP, Kathy, and the crew come to you live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 to 9 a.m. You can catch us right here on the JP, Kathy, and the crew network.
And then you can catch our rebroadcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1. Did you just say that?
11:30 to 1.
What did I say?
11 to 1.
Oh, I'm giving us there's an extra 30-minute bonus. It's the bloopers.
They'll sit in open space.
No, it's the
For
bloopers.
30 minutes, open space.
It's us afterwards, cutting up.
When we finally come to the crew, they'll be doing this.
They'll be, oh my goodness.
Can't do that.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, fire away.
Were you guys as sharp and put together as that young man when you were like 9? I wasn't. I'm gonna tell you.
I'm
So-
53 and I'm not that sharp
right.
and put together.
I'm trying to figure out how can I get on the schedule.
Yeah, how can I be Jackson when
Yeah,
I
it's
grow
amazing.
up?
Not that I'm going to compare, because I'm not. But yeah.
I still have to do a bow tie clip.
Nice.
Yeah, I got to get my regular.
I can't
my bow
tie. I can't
No,
tie a
mine.
bow tie. I have to get my son
Wow.
to show me how.
In fact, Corley's
Oh, I
gonna-
love it.
Wow.
Corley's going to make me wear bow ties. Courtney's
Well,
already
you
said.
used to all the
Oh, man.
time.
Courtney's
used to all
already
the
said.
time.
Corley looks so nice in a tie, John. I'm like, okay.
No, yeah, all the ladies
Yeah.
are chiming in.
Hint
We
taken.
knew that was
Did
going to
you
happen.
remember
And
Troy
speaking
Duncan
of the
was a big
ladies,
bow
we're going to
tie?
have
Yeah, he
Dr.
was.
We're
Troy
going to have
Duncan was
Dr.
a big-
Dave coming up,
So
ladies.
do we have Dr. Dave on? All right, let's put Dr. Dave on. Dr. Dave! Look at
Dr.
oh!
Ooh.
Look at this! Look at this, ladies! Uh-oh!
Finally, you wanted him. You wanted a picture, an image of him. You've got it.
Dr.
What's
Dave,
up, guys?
you finally gave in to the picture. Thank you for coming on video, man.
Yeah, I'm not much of a video guy, but it's nice. It's nice to see you guys.
It's great
Yeah,
to see you.
Great to see you too. So, Dr. Dave, first and foremost, and we've got a lot of questions to get into about getting ready
Oh,
for
yes,
school,
yes, yes.
influenza, the ERs, COVID-19 influenza, the ERs, kids becoming probably more susceptible to potential effects of COVID-19 with their immune system being knocked down with influenza. I'm going to ask you about that. But before we do that, man, tell me about how your ER is doing. Are you guys packed? Is COVID-19 dying down where you're at? What's happening with COVID-19 in your ER?
Well, it's important to note that I, oversee about 13 different ERs in about 4 different states. So I've got a pretty good idea what's going on out there. I'll say that the ERs over, but hospitals are getting overfull. ER volume is down, even with the COVID-19 case.
Oh, did we freeze?
They're
So
not
the-
having
Oh, there
on
we
as
go.
much. They're not having traumas, as much because less people are out, so less injuries. So the ERs aren't really over full, but it's the hospitals on the back end that are getting over full because of when we admit a COVID case, they're there for a long time. They don't get quick in just a few days. You're usually there for weeks and some months. And so if you admit 5 or 10 COVID cases a day, you can see how it's going to pile up on the hospital on the back end. So the hospitals are getting pretty overrun. It's definitely a different hustle and bustle and stress. So the ERs, we're still doing good. Patients are definitely sicker than normal, what we've seen. Just overall in general, the acuity of patients, people have been waiting so long to come to the ER, and diseases are kind of festering. So even if they're not with COVID, coming in with COVID, they're coming in with much higher acuity of other things. So it's definitely been hard.
So, and before we dive into our topic at hand, Dr. Dave, let me ask this question as well. I wanted to ask you about the ERs and the hospitals, but also about the NBA. Are you going to have to go down to Florida at some point and be a part of the bubble down there?
I was scheduled to be a part of the bubble, and I was very excited about it. Got trained for it, and we were going to do 10-day rotations for the physicians. And the NBA got tighter with who can come, how long you can be in the bubble and out, and they don't want people going in and out. So they changed it to where the docs have to be there for a month at a time. And I had to make the hard decision. I'm not going to leave my kids for a month, so I pulled out of going to the bubble. I'm hoping by the playoffs, they're and the finals they usually work. So I'm hoping to be back then because those guys will be ready for a break and it'll be a shorter amount of time. So I'm hoping to be there then.
So, and I get it. You got to quarantine. You got to take the negative tests before you can enter the bubble truly. So, I kind of get it, but I also understand. As a doctor, I don't know that I want to be away from my family for 30 days.
No, it's a long time, and I'm still in all the email threads. Common NBA medical. They are being strict about. Even just having something delivered, is a big deal. It's going to be, the packages are clean, people are tested. They're doing it, as usual. I think the NBA is doing a great job.
Well, let's go ahead and dive right into the topic. So, the topic at hand, we've got flu season coming on, and let's just talk about the flu for a moment. What can parents do to identify the flu And what should they do if they feel like their kiddo has the flu?
Well, the biggest thing for the flu, obviously, is to get the vaccine. You know, we're touting and hoping and praying for this COVID vaccine. So you need to be just as mindful with the flu and get the flu vaccine. Flu season is coming up, and you know, the best things to do, obviously, are the same kind of prevention measures that we have with COVID: the hand washing, even social distancing with the flu, and things like, you know, really taking care of surfaces you might touch, and staying home if you're ill to prevent other people from getting it. The flu has really kind of had me worried about this for a long time.
Having a little bit of audio
He's
trouble. We still see him.
There you go. You
There we go. Yeah, we can
There
see.
we
We got
go.
you now.
Sorry.
We're
I'm
hanging
gonna
on
move
your
to a
every
different
word.
room where I have better. Don't leave, ladies. Don't leave.
They're not
Don't,
Dr. Dave. Dr. Dave, they're on the
Good
move with you,
one,
baby.
Dr.
They're like,
Dave.
ooh, look at Dr.
Oh,
Dave
I
move.
love it.
He's got the
Very
shadow.
good.
He's got the smile. He's got the
Oh,
scroll.
that's so great.
Yeah.
The flu really worried me because, you know, okay, so back when this started, everyone compared it to the flu, and you know, we
Right.
thought it'd go away in the summer because the flu usually goes away. It never did, you know. So I think that's something we need to remember and way in the summer like the flu did. After that, you've got to think, okay, if this didn't go away in the summer like the flu does, what is it going to be like when the flu is here and when the weather is cold? So the flu comes in the cold weather. It's an optimal environment for it. And I think that's going to be the same kind of thing with COVID, as is most viruses. They thrive in the colder weather. So I'm afraid that this is going to get stronger in the winter. And the biggest thing that happens with the flu, you know, the death rates from the flu are usually because of a co-infection, meaning that you don't die just from the flu. You die from flu and you get pneumonia on top of it, or flu and a septic UTI or urinary tract infection. Illnesses on top of the flu is what really kind of knocks people out. And so I'm really afraid when people get the flu and COVID on top of it, that we're going to see some trouble. So I'm really worried about this one.
And Dr. Dave, you answered a question I had, and that was because, you know, usually I know in the past, and I've told you about this, when I've gotten into trouble with the flu, is I either get it usually with a severe case of bronchitis or pneumonia. So my
Right.
goodness, so okay, so you're saying you can have the flu, you can have COVID, and you can have pneumonia all at the same time?
And hold that.
It's going to happen.
Hold that
Ooh,
answer, Dr.
that's
Dave.
scary.
We got to take a quick break for station identification. You are watching JP, Kathy, and the Crew live here on JP, Kathy, and the Crew Network at Venture X Studios in Frisco, Texas.
All right, a sunny day here on Wednesday, a high of 100 degrees and a low of 80 for the day.
All right. So, Dr. Dave, so Kathy's thrown out there. So, we could be potentially looking at the flu, COVID-19,
that's scary.
and something like a pneumonia or a UTI.
Absolutely. And, you know, any kind of infection on top of it, people with the flu will get, you know, lots of different viruses or bacteria, and that's when they really get sick. So that's something that hasn't been talked about a lot. That's okay because we're still learning and planning, but it's something that, you know, I'm hoping we don't get shut down again in the winter when this kind of gets, you know, when this happens.
Amen.
We need Corley's mic on, please.
There we go.
Thank you, Mr. Engineer.
Hi, Dr. Dave.
He's reading.
Hey, how you doing?
He's doing
How
his
are you,
Bible
man?
verse for the day.
You want our next
Phil,
guest.
first of all, you look great, man. You look great.
Thanks.
Okay. So I have a question. So I know you've kind of been around like ground zero when it all started, and you've kind of seen transitions, and when we kind of opened up a little bit, and then we kind of shut back down somewhat. Have you? I know one of those reasons why we shut back down was because people were not listening. That was the said reason. I have a question. Do you find that you're explaining to people over again what you kind of said a minute ago? You know, wash the surfaces, or you know,
Oh, yeah.
what are you doing? How'd you get this, and what does that look like now?
It's, you know, we're doing a better job of educating. I was at a restaurant the other day, actually, and they had like a little handout that reminded people to wash their hands, sanitize, things like that. We're doing the same kind of things in the hospitals, and the nurses are doing a good job at it too. my fear is just that people aren't listening. They're tired of it. They're not listening. And, in the past, if one of my hospitals, when we do a COVID test, but we send somebody home, meaning that they don't have to stay in the hospital when we're testing them for COVID, we do those as like an outpatient test, so we can save our inpatient test in the hospital to get the quick results. So it might take them 2 days to get the results, and we call them with the results. When this first started, I would tell them, do not leave your house until you get the results.
Self-quarantine.
And I still tell them that, but they used to listen. I don't think people are really listening right now until they get those positive results. And even then, I think people are out there, kind of just risking it, or maybe wearing a mask and going out. The second shutdown or the semi-shutdown, I haven't seen any real, positive effects from it. I think people are just kind of out there doing their thing.
And just a quick follow up to that, because we have you on right now. I think it's really important because you're actually there. So are you finding a certain demographic? Are you finding, I don't know, women, men, 20 to 30, or I've heard somewhere, teenagers are becoming more infected. What are you seeing out there?
Good question.
The most severely affected are the elderly and the people with comorbidities. Those are the most severely affected. The most commonly affected are probably more of, honestly, the Hispanics, Latinos, and African Americans. I will see complete households come in and test positive. 5 or 6 people in a household all sick with COVID. And I think, it's like that more for the Hispanic community because we tend to all, we have a lot of people in a house a lot of the time. People,
well, you have like multi-generational kind of a situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's more of a common kind of, trend that's always been a part of our culture. So that's one reason I think that's happening. We are seeing more kids pop up positive and more teens. And I think that's a lot to do with, not just going back to school in some areas, but, kids are just, dying to play with their friends right now or interact. And it's, people are getting back out there. I saw a lot this week, the stats about the kids starting to pop up, and they want everyone to make sure to know that kids can get sick. And I agree, they can, and they can get COVID. They're not, they're not immune to it at all. But I don't want the numbers to scare people that if your child gets COVID, that they're on the path to death or hospitalization. That is going to be kind of a hopefully not a media kind of fear that they're putting in people, because the complication rate and the death rate of children is very, very low. I think it was like 86 cases out of 100,000. And it's horrible for those 86 cases. But if you look at it from a mathematical or statistical standpoint, that's very, very low, especially compared to adults.
That's awesome.
So, Dr. Dave, let's ask the hard question, right? So, my child looks like he's got COVID. My child looks like he's got the flu. My dad looks like he's got COVID. Which they kind of have
some of the same, don't they have some of the same symptoms or similar?
Oh,
yeah, that's what's so confusing.
My dad's got COVID-19. My dad's got the flu. I don't know which one he's got. What should I do next? Should I run to the ER?
It depends on how sick they are. I really wish we could put a pulse oximeter in everybody's household, meaning the little thing you put on your finger that tells you what your oxygen is. And that, the pulse, how high your heart rate is and what your pulse ox is really, to me, the most determining factors of how sick somebody is. So you shouldn't run to the ER unless you're pretty ill. First, start with calling your doctor, or call the ER if you have to and tell them what's going on. And we can kind of help guide you as to, should you stay at home and make an appointment, or should you come to the ER? But, if you're ever worried about somebody's breathing status, their mentation, or just, worried in general, don't put it off. I'm not trying to tell anyone not to come to the ER. We want to see you if you're worried. But, you have to, the biggest thing I think is to make sure you're either at the hospital, at the doctor's office, or home. Don't be anywhere else if you have those symptoms. You don't want to, possibly have it and be infecting somebody else.
Well, and when you talk about that, the pulsometer, is that how you say it? Pulse oximeter. Yeah. Okay, so what would be a high number for your pulse, and then for the oxygen, what would be a low number? Like, what would be this?
Sure.
The boy, you're on the borderline. You need to really keep a close eye on it.
Right. So we'll start with the oxygen percentage, because that's universal for adults and kids. And if your oxygen is below 94%, something's going on.
Okay.
And that's kind of worrisome to me. My brother in Florida had some symptoms of COVID, and didn't know if he should get tested. And I had him go by the fire station and check his pulse ox. He wasn't that sick. He didn't feel that bad, but his oxygen was 88%.
Oh, that's not good.
He got it.
Yeah,
so he
that's
went
not
and
good.
got tested, and it was only low for a couple of days, and he did have COVID, and he did just fine, but it was kind of a good indicator of what's going on. And you got to make sure that the oxygen is going to come up. If it's not, then that's the main reason we have to keep you in the hospital. The heart rate or the pulse is different in kids and adults. Over 100, 110 kind of sustained. If you walk around the house or drink a cup of coffee or do something where you get excited, your heart rate's going to pop up. But if it's staying that high, over the 100s, 110s, and usually we're seeing people in the 130s, 140s. That's a sign that
dangerous.
Your body is reacting. Yeah.
Okay.
Kids' normal resting heart rate is around that. So don't freak out if you have a 5, 6-year-old that's in the 120s. That's probably normal for them.
Is that something you can buy? Because I know my mom has one.
Mm-hmm.
She's a cancer survivor. Her significant other has had a heart attack. So they monitor everything all day. You know, and they eat super healthy and they take vitamins and all that kind of good stuff. How much does one cost? Do you have to get like a hospital grade or doctor's level grade one, or?
They're not expensive at all. About $15, $20.
Oh my goodness!
Most
Foolproof?
drugstores. What?
Foolproof for somebody like me?
Oh yeah, it's very easy. You just put it on your finger and it tells you your pulse and the oxygen rate.
Okay.
And most drugstores have them, but they're running out. I got a couple for family members on Amazon, and they're around $15, and they're quick. So. If you can get your hands on one now, I think it'd be really helpful.
Ordering one now. Thank you very much.
So, Dr. Dave, as we get ready to close out this segment, what advice do you have for parents, teachers, administrators as we get ready to go back to school? Flu season is upon us. I know, get the vaccination, right? Let's get flu vaccinated. Yeah. But what suggestions do you have for all these folks that are having to deal with going back? You're a dad, you're a father.
Yeah. It's hard because so many people have so many different viewpoints on this disease. So all I can say is it is a real disease. The flu is a real disease. It's going to take us a year or two to adapt to this, to learn about it, to really know what works and what doesn't. So have patience and think about it as a disease and not as something political. I'm not one that advocates everybody shutting down. I tend to be pretty rational, I think. And so I just urge everybody to kind of be rational and just practice, be mindful where you're at, your surroundings, and just try to really, I guess, take care of your mental health. Make sure you're sleeping well, make sure you're eating well and drinking water enough. And if you kind of do that, take care of yourself physically and mentally, step back and take a look about what's going on with this and see how you can, be either help things by being a little more careful, or how you might potentially harm things if you're feeling ill, or, maybe you are one of those asymptomatic carriers. Everyone thinks it's not them. So maybe don't go to, somewhere crowded, even though you're feeling well. Or if you do, wear that mask. So try to take a step back and think about it from a rational perspective or somebody else's perspective.
All right. I think great advice.
Great advice.
So,
Thank you.
Dr. Dave, you are so hot on camera. I want to ask you out for dinner.
Oh, my. That's a whole other topic for a whole other day.
You've asked me out on dinners before, and I always say yes.
I was going to say, I think you two already have a bromance going on. I'm pretty sure.
That's okay.
I've always had a crush on JP.
I've got a crush on Dr. Dave. It's just the way it is.
So great.
Hey, Dr. Dave, tell Lily I said hello. Give her a big kiss for us.
I will. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Stay
Have a
blessed
great
and
day. Be
healthy.
blessed, Dr. Dave.
Bye,
All right,
you
Dr.
too.
David Derrigan, our level 5 trauma expert on everything
And
ER.
resident stand-up comedian.
Yes.
He goes with the
Well,
flow.
today,
We love that.
today is 2 days after Pundy Monday.
Yes.
So I'm waiting for our resident Name the Day to come up with a Wednesday one.
Wednesday.
No, dude, you had Pundy. Wasn't it Pundy?
Punday, yeah.
Punday
Monday.
Punday Monday. So what's
Because
today?
it's punny.
Wet Wednesday? I don't know.
Wacky
What? Oh,
Wednesday?
what? I like that. What Wednesday?
No,
Does it
wet.
call it Wacky Wednesday?
Wet Wednesday?
I don't know.
How about Moist Wednesday?
No.
Oh, Gail
No.
Meeks.
No,
Gail
like
Meeks.
that.
Shut it
You're
down.
going to get in trouble for that.
Yeah, Gail's got me. She's already typing
She's like,
away.
no.
She's already typing. Gail, behave. Behave, Gail. Behave. Well, I'll tell you, Dr. Dave hits on a lot of, first of all, Dr. Clothier says, hey, you don't feel good on Mondays, stay home.
Yeah.
That this thing could potentially be holding longer in environments that are wet now.
Well,
We're
yeah,
sweating a
like
lot.
you warned us, these kids who are playing athletics, or if you're out, you've got sports going on, especially if it's in a gym in a contained area. Again, I think what I hear Dr. Clothier saying and Dr. Dave saying is better safe than sorry. And like he said, if you're waiting for a COVID test and you still don't feel well, don't go out. I mean, call a friend, have somebody deliver groceries, or go grab you, some bottled water, or whatever the case may be. Just be smart about it, because when you take that chance, that's when you're going to possibly pass it on. And do you want to be part of the problem or part of the solution? And I'd rather, and again, let's do this ourselves. Let's police ourselves and handle up on our own families and all that kind of stuff. So the government does not need to come in and tell us what to do. I don't want a nanny state. I don't want the government telling me what I have to do, when I have to do it, where I have to do it, and how I have to do it. So then just be smart. I mean, and y'all know me. I love being amongst people, and I hate it when I have to miss something with you guys, especially.
Yeah, you and the Olive Bar have really gotten lonely.
Oh, no more Olive Bars at Kroger. That's that was dinner once a week for me. But
It's loneliness.
when it was by myself, I didn't cook. I went to the Olive Bar.
Olive Bar.
I'd be like,
Olive
JP,
Bar.
I'm hitting the bar
How many
again.
olives do they have?
Oh, a lot.
Oh, tons. And sun-dried tomatoes and artichokes and
I mean,
dulmus. Anyways, it just, I
You
could
should
go
see
on
this
and on.
slow-mo promo that I'm going to make of Kathy going up to the Olive Bar again. Memories.
Yeah. Now
all
you have
alone
to, now
in
you have
my
to buy a
Olive Bar.
prepackaged, and I like to
I'm
get
so
like a little
sad.
baby bit of every
I love
one.
I miss my Olive Bar.
Well, what was I
All
even
of it.
talking about?
And then she'll weep.
No, but I'm point being, I did a self-quarantine for 3 weeks. I was very sick. Turned out I had the stomach flu, a really bad case of it. Had been exposed to COVID, and thankfully tested negative. But I self-quarantined because nobody had to tell me to be smart about, okay, you're really sick, Kathy. Even a mask isn't going to help protect anybody else from a situation like that. So just be smart.
Just be smart.
Yeah.
Olive Wednesdays.
And there are definitely
Olive
more smart people out
Wednesdays.
there
I
than
do.
me.
I
Olive-
love Wednesdays.
Olive Wednesday. I love Wednesday.
For Corley and Charles.
You're just going to have to step
Instead
up.
of
Y'all are new.
Days.
I will have to find some of the pictures I've sent JP over the
You'll
years
just get used to it.
of me at an Olive Bar. Not kidding.
Hey,
Oh,
I think
gosh,
that's
yes.
our thing.
I mean,
I love Wednesdays. Olive Wednesday.
Wednesdays. Oh, JP's like, oh, great.
yeah.
Why did I bring that up?
Yeah. Goodbye, Charles.
Charles, you've been great.
So the one
You're
thing I
gonna be
walked
hard to
away with
replace it.
after that, all that great deep information was, if your heart rate is above 110, it could be COVID, or it could be because you're around.
Kathy.
Oh, is that good?
Aw.
Like good,
All right.
good.
In which case,
radio?
olive
There's
oil
no
is good.
rumors. It was a joke. It was an antidote.
No, because she likes my butt. She says I got a nice butt.
Good night, JP.
She's saying
I'm
all of you
saying.
Good
guys.
night. So Corley said something the other day
Oh, I
about.
love you guys.
All of you
He was
guys.
like something about, you don't ever mess around with a hot blonde or something like that. And then he goes, just kidding. I go, oh, so I'm not a hot blonde.
Right.
He's like, well, I didn't want to offend you. I go, well, now I'm offended because now I'm not a hot blonde. Wow, at age 53. Well, that was the turning point. One day I was, one day I wasn't. Now I'm just teasing.
Corley, cool. I like that. Corley takes that with
You
Cool.
should see our text messages. They are
No, you shouldn't.
hilarious.
They are hilarious.
Our text messages, we're a mess.
We're a hot mess.
We're
But
a mess.
I'll tell you who else is a hot mess is poor Jacob. We got Jacob Gura joining us right now.
Because
Good
you
morning,
destroyed
Jacob.
him on Monday. He had to. He couldn't hang around us today.
I did destroy him on Monday.
Good morning, Jacob. He's like, he's got a girlfriend, and you're like trying to hook him up with a girl 5 years older than him.
I'm not trying to hook him up. I just observed
Go back
his
and
heart
watch
rate
Monday's
raising
show.
above 110.
Oh,
Yuck.
Jacob's never
You know the
coming
funny
back.
part about that though?
Yeah?
My girlfriend is 20 years old.
Oh, Jacob.
Yeah, Kathy, you're
Oh,
all. I told you he's a man
my.
at 17. Hey, Kathy, go sit down, Kathy. Gee whiz.
I already am.
Well, I'll tell you, I've asked Jacob Gura to join us. He's 17 years old, young perspective. And because we've been talking about James Throckmorton
Yes.
and the statue
In McKinney.
in McKinney
Yep.
with a lot of conversation. Friday, we're going to have a huge show where we have
Yes.
Chad Green come back on and really talk with other members of the community, the black community, that say, Chad, you've misinformed. And we're going to give them a chance to talk this out and give them an opportunity
It's a must tune in show
to
on
hear
Friday. It really
absolutely
is.
to hear the information. because they said the information wasn't accurate. So we're going to clear the air more or less. But before we do that, we want to talk about, James Throckmorton. Who was he? Why are we talking about him? Why is he controversial? And so, Corley, I go back to you on some of your commentary, which is when you say Black Lives Matter. Okay. Now what? And so, what are your thoughts on Throckmorton in this whole situation?
Right. So, okay. So I think that it's a slippery slope, and I don't think the conversation is. I'm weary about having the conversation about spending time on that gentleman specifically because it's a very slippery slope and it's happening around the country. I'm scared about when is it going to end. We've got high schools changing their names because one child felt unsafe. So there's a lot of things going on here, and I think when you play one side's game, you don't necessarily win. When you win, you don't necessarily win. You just exacerbate.
What do you mean by that?
What they're doing. So
right. No, I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I think we're setting a precedent for young men like this.
And you keep saying this over and over, Corley. You keep referring to, kind of like all of us, we're over 40. You feel okay, we're already foregone conclusion, whatever. But you keep saying, like, for the Jacobs of the world, for that younger, for those kids in elementary school, for the Jackson Turners of the world, what is that? So you're saying, okay, maybe us as adults, we feel like, well, our side was victorious because we got a statue taken down, or we got this done, or we protected a statue, whatever side you fall on. But you're saying, hey, watch out, because at the end of the day, it's about those kids. Is that where you're talking about? At the end of the day, you don't win if you lose this next generation.
That's all good.
Okay.
There's so many different perspectives. I find it hard to narrow things down.
Okay.
So, I think we have an ethical charge as citizens to search these things, whether they be so. That's like in the scripture, I think in Acts, these were more noble than those in Thessalonica, that they searched the scriptures, whether these things were so. So it's noble to search.
Right.
So if God can say, search the scriptures and prove me now herewith, said the Lord of hosts, so how do you not? So we have an ethical right to search, and we have an ethical right to, check with someone and see if the pathology that's being said about us, it's true. If it's not, step up. And I think there are a lot of reasonable people out there, Kathy, and more than there are unreasonable, I believe.
Okay.
It's just that the unreasonable people are more noisy. And so you have to, I think it's time for, so I don't mean to keep driving back to that narrow
No.
that, but I think it's a slippery slope.
I think it is.
I
It's
think
currently
it's important.
11:03 here in the Dallas. Pardon me, 11:03, 9:03 here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
I was like, what time is it today?
Yeah, it's 9:03.
And it's midnight.
It's midnight.
Woo! What's
it's
in your coffee cup?
Too much. So it's 9:03 here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We are JP Kathy and the crew on the JP Kathy and the Crew Network, coming to you live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 to 9 o'clock every morning. Kathy, what's our weather look like today?
Well, it is another sunny day here in the Frisco area. We are going to be at a high of 100 today and a low of 80. So another hot and sunny day in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
We also come to you live from Venture X Studios here in Frisco, and we love Venture X
we love
Studios.
it out here.
We're going to be
Cheers.
talking with Michael Morford through
yes,
Sustainment. He's one of the business, he has a business here at Venture X.
Nice.
And so we're going to talk
Love
with
it.
him later on here in the show. So you want to stay tuned for that. But we've got Jacob Gurus joining us now. Jacob, you heard what Corley has had to say, what Kathy's had to say, what I've had to say. What do you say about all this?
I think it's just that, there's just so much division, and all of this, no matter what side you're on, it's just causing all this division. And we just need to remember that we're all American, we remember that, where our roots came from. We fought for freedom, and people also, really get, they don't know what freedom means. Freedom means the right, you're free to do what's right. You're free to do the right thing. And that's very important, like freedom of religion, freedom of speech, all this other stuff. And it's with all this gatekeeping of, people saying, oh, you can't say this word, you can't say this stuff, you can't say that. It's getting so toxic. And it's just causing all this division.
Now,
and
Jacob, you had mentioned before an actor. I can't remember who it was.
Morgan Freeman.
Okay, what were you referencing in regards to Morgan Freeman?
It was. I completely forgot what I said.
An interview.
Yeah. Well, one of the things he was saying, I don't want a Black History Month.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You were talking about that the other day.
So expand on that.
It's, why does there need to be Black History Month? Like, there's no White History Month. There's no Jewish White History Month. There's no, Mexican Mexican History Month. Why does there need to be Black History Month? Why can't we just learn history, and just learn from it? That's what history is for, is to learn from it and not make the same mistakes that were made in history.
Amen.
So let me blow it up a little bit more, and I appreciate. I actually saw that interview, and I believe in that interview he asked the person who was interviewing him, do you want a Black History Month? This was a white male, and immediately he was like, no, and Morgan Freeman conceded to ta-da. And so I ask you, as a white male, do you want a White History Month?
Yeah, no.
Right.
I don't need a designated month.
And so I'll be real quick. So it's like you mentioned words, and you can't say words. If we talk about, let's say there was no races. Let's say there was nothing to use that we could say someone is different. What would that look like? That would probably be the word I can't probably say on air, but there are a lot of words that I wish just weren't there, because it singles you out, number one, and I'd rather just go and kill it and do my thing rather than,
Well, you'd rather be looked
does that make
at
sense?
as
I could go on, but I don't want to get too
at
long on it.
as an individual for the merits of your hard work, your talents, what you have done to achieve what you've achieved in your life, which you didn't just wake up one day and be like, well, I'm going to be successful and I'm going to be good at this and I'm going to be good at that. You've worked hard to get where you are. I mean, everybody, we've all worked hard at whatever that is that we've worked hard at. And it's interesting when you say, well, if we all just look the same, or if we all were the same color, or whatever the case may be, I think you would still have people who are angry, because there are just some people who are going to be angry no matter what. And there's always going to be somebody smarter, better looking, richer, more talented, more well connected than you. There's always going to be somebody who's better than you. So and I say this, it's a speech I give to young women and to women all the time. Mm-hmm. Women, don't be each other's glass ceiling. My goodness, celebrate other women. Tell them they're smart. Tell them they're beautiful. Bring them up, lift them up, and mentor them, and put them on to that next platform. And if they do better than you, good. That's what you want. And so I look at that with society as a whole. Everybody's always going to find something to be upset about if you want to find it.
So
they'll always find something offensive in everything.
Yeah, and especially, and Jacob, your generation's great at waking up, looking at Twitter, and deciding what they're mad at for the day. And I'm excluding you.
Oh, Twitter's a cesspool. I hate Twitter.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Twitter is terrible.
It's a cesspool.
I love that.
Thank you.
It's a cesspool.
Thank
Ask
you.
Morgan Freeman. It's a cesspool.
Well, Jacob.
But Corley, I see you as a man. That's it. You're a man. Kathy, you're a woman. Men, and I see you as men and women.
Oh, that's fantastic. Where am I?
So
you don't see me.
I can't see
Jacob,
you,
do
John.
you see me?
I see you.
So
Oh,
No.
there you are, John.
Okay, yeah,
There
okay,
you
Charles.
are.
I remember you,
He sees
Charles.
you as a man.
So All right, so I have to say this. So, this doesn't tear down the what was just said, but God did this experiment, and it's like on one hand he's saying you're all the same, and on the other hand we're vastly different.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's like having a track and everybody's great, and then the next day you have hurdles, and then you have bigger hurdles, and he's just like, so you deal with that.
Right.
And so
a
it's
great
kind of good. It's a
analogy.
good thing,
It's the human experiment.
but it's the human experiment. So how are we going to do? And so there's enough data out there to know how to get through this. And that's all I'm trying to say. Like, why aren't we? And America is one of the greatest experiments. So if we keep tearing down things, we know what they want to tear down already. I mean, they want to get rid of the nucleus, the family nucleus.
Yep.
Nuclear.
Which-
family.
Yep. Nuclear
Thank you.
family. Yep.
Thanks. I did that last time too. I said a word that's thinking. So, all right, and so so we know what they want to tear down. What's next? Back to the slippery slope. It'll be like the forefathers, or everything in Western society.
Yeah.
Where are we
that's
going with this?
scary.
Well-
and so that's why I think purpose is very important. What are you doing with?
And-
What's the purpose of tearing down the statues? And what they have to ask, someone has to ask them. So whoever's doing it, and I'm not saying whatever. I'm just saying the question has to be asked. Someone, we'd like our leaders to do this at this point. I don't want to be the one doing it here on the radio. I don't know who's listening, but if they want to really carry this conversation on, if it were my world, you would have to answer. What was it, Julius? What was it? Shakespeare. Oh no, it was Job. Answer me as a man.
right.
Well, our differences are important because without our differences, we could not be a whole. We all have our own parts to play. It's just
and-
like the human body, right? You can't do with. I mean, you are hindered when you don't have a foot or a leg or an eye or a nose
Great
or
analogy.
an
I-
ear.
I have
Great
a-
We all
analogy.
need them. We all can't be the ear. We all can't be the eye. We all can't be the brain.
Yeah, that's good, Charles.
So we
yeah.
have to have all those different parts to work together.
Yeah.
Well said.
And what you have to say, Jacob?
Yeah, like we are all equal, but we're not the same.
Okay. And what do you,
Like-
as a young man, what does that
and-
mean to you?
And kind of expounding on my dad's analogy, your heart is not the same as your stomach, and your heart's not the same as your brain, but they're all equally as important to your body's function. And we're all equally important to the function in our society, but we have different functions in our society. All right, we're all cogs in one
Bravo.
giant clock.
Bravo.
All right. It's currently 11. Or I said it again. It's currently 9:13 here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We are JP, Kathy, and the crew. We come to you live on JP, Kathy, and the Crew Network, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 to 9 o'clock.
All right, JP, and it's going to be a sunny day here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, headed towards a high of triple digits, 100. So that cool front left us last week and has not made a return, and then a low of 80.
Yeah, and it's currently 8:13, not 9:13. I can't get my time right.
It's going to say, is it, are we already done?
It's Wacky Wednesday.
I'm,
No,
thi-
you're not
I'm thinking,
done.
are we already done?
You got 45 more minutes of me.
I love Wednesday.
You do love Wednesday? You look like you love Wednesday.
I love Wednesday.
You look like you love
Oh,
Wednesday. Well, Jacob, we're going to send you on
LIV.
back to what you were doing, and thank you
Jacob,
for
we
coming on,
appreciate
all
you.
right?
Thank
All right.
you.
Thanks
We'll
for
see you in
having me,
studio
yeah.
soon.
All right, Jacob, take care.
Yeah, he's great.
Corley, finishing thoughts.
Okay. So wow. So I think that people group identity, if that's what one side is doing, is dangerous, as much as dangerous as it is to think that one thing about you is the most important thing about you, or is the only thing about you that's important.
Oh, that's
And so
interesting.
it's like when we talk about
Huh.
moms
Yeah.
or women, I was thinking
Women.
about my mom immediately, and I was like, okay, she is like she's not just a woman. She's the most amazing. Like she's so many different things. You can barely pin down what this woman is, and we all know people like that. So
You're a good son.
have to be
Every mom
careful.
wants to hear that.
Absolutely. Charles, will
That's
you do me a
awesome.
favor? Charles, will you grab that chair that's
mom,
off
too,
to
by the
your left-hand side and bring it over here next to Corley?
Can't wait to meet your
And
mom
we're going to
someday.
bring on here in just a moment VentureX. First of all, we love being at VentureX. We absolutely love being at VentureX.
We have
Um,
nothing but positive things to say about VentureX, our studio, this workspace, the people here, and the coffee.
And it's in Frisco. You can go to venturexfrisco.com. We're going to bring on somebody who has found VentureX, is at VentureX, using VentureX. We've got Michael Morford with us. Good morning, Michael.
Hello, how you doing?
Man,
How
we're
are
partying, living the
you?
lifestyle, rocking and rolling and whatnot.
This is one of my first times to ever do something like this, so I'm hearing my voice, and I'm trying to make sure it sounds
You've
like
got
a
good
radio
No,
voice.
you've got a great.
hey,
I was gonna
just
say
be
you've got
you.
a great voice. Yeah, just
be
yeah,
you.
be you,
No,
man.
no, we don't want to hear me. Trust me.
Oh, I've got it right
I
here.
need that card.
I'm going to give it to you in a minute.
All right.
Who do you,
I'm
who
gonna
do
his
you
name
think
in
you are,
here.
like the engineer
Well,
or
everybody's
something?
so demanding today.
great. Well, you
it's like,
like-
we're hopped off.
No one
hopped
gave
up
me the
on
card. I
coffee.
couldn't get his
Yeah,
name
but
in
you
here.
like my butt, so I'm okay.
No,
with that.
Whoa.
that is
I
not
like where
what
this is
said.
going.
Yeah, absolutely.
I already like this crew.
How do I sign up to be part
We're
of
going to
the
get Michael as
crew?
part of the crew
I
now.
want to be a regular.
You're honorary.
He wants
You're
to be a
honorary.
regular. So, no, sustainment. Michael, first of all, how do you come up with the name sustainment, and what does sustainment do?
So, sustainment is literally, most people, they think of supply chain. So that's a common
Okay.
phrase. But the word sustainment is very military, yet it's all the same. It's basically keeping a supply system alive. How do you sustain your supply chain?
Okay.
In the DoD, or Department of Defense, we're our initial contract, we're a defense contractor,
Okay.
but not exclusively, is your aircraft, your B-1B, your F-15, your B-52. Those have to keep in the air, and they're older aircraft, and maintaining that supply chain and keeping those birds in the air is sustainment. So that's very literal definition of our company.
That's perfect, though. I love that.
Yeah.
So, tell me, how did you end up at VentureX? What brought you here?
I've been living in Frisco for some time. We're still a very young company, but a year ago, it was just me. And I needed some just really good working office environment. Our house is not suitable for me with 3 young children. My oldest turns 10 today. so
happy
Oh,
birthday.
birthday.
Ava turns 10. I hate the fact that she's turning 10.
Of
She's
course.
double
Oh, yeah.
Double digits.
Yeah.
And if you go to a lot of places, your Regis's, there's nothing against a Regis. It's fine. You go to your WeWorks. There's nothing wrong with WeWorks. They're fine, but they don't have the culture that I wanted, which is kind of like a mesh of the two. And my youngest goes to pre-K right behind the building, and I saw this building get erected, and then I saw VentureX, and I was like, that's a cool sign. What's VentureX? I Google it. And I had to have been one of the first people in the door.
Well, there you
Because
go.
like VentureX, I automatically think like X-Men or something,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I'm like, okay, or Adventure something. I'm like, it's all good. Something's
Well,
got to be great going on there.
I dressed up in a X-Men costume just in case when I came in.
Now, but which one were
And
you?
you're welcome any day on our
I
set.
want to say I was Wolverine, but that would be
Oh,
too cool.
That was way cool.
Yeah, so I just
Did you wear the white T-shirt and the jeans?
Yes, yeah, I ripped it up,
very-
bloodied
Oh,
myself.
He ripped it up and bloodied himself, Kathy. So you can like his chest and my butt.
Oh, JP.
This greatest show ever.
JP.
We have a little fun, that's for sure. Well,
Expect it when you least expect it.
Michael, if you had to say there was one thing in particular that you find to be extremely useful to a small business, a startup,
Yeah.
what would you say VentureX does for you as it's a small startup, a small business person?
Yeah, A, the flexibility of the terms are fantastic. B, it's trust me, I know the marketplace around here, and it's about the best deal you'll have. So the fact that this is great, or whatever,
Affordability.
Class A, quote unquote, office space, but it is extremely affordable. All in one sort of just simple walk in. You got an office or a
Right.
desk if you need it. It's professionals working in here, so no knock on millennials and the Z Gen, but it is.
Sure.
I need my quiet space. Yet the office open space is fantastic, and so suddenly you find yourself getting to know a lot of other smaller companies. And
Yeah.
I have now developed probably 3 or 4 business relationships that have helped us grow just by being here.
So
And those are opportunities to network
Yep.
you would not have had unless you were in a workspace like this.
Yeah, and so I hate to bag on some company like WeWork because they're whatever, they're fine. But if you go there, it feels like you're in a college dorm room environment, and I don't want that. I don't need to be sitting, crisscross applesauce with a laptop on a beanbag.
Right.
I want a desk and a door
To
that
say
closes.
my knees don't like it that
Yeah,
way like
and-
they used to.
And if you go to a more traditional office rental space, it's just so you go in and you never meet anybody.
you're compartmentalized. You're in
Yeah,
a
so
box.
this is the perfect blend. So and it's perfect location.
So what about the coffee maker?
I don't drink coffee.
Dude, you got to go visit the coffee
does
maker
tea, doesn't it?
regardless.
yeah, I was gonna
I
say, I
don't
think
drink.
it has.
I live on Diet Coke. So
But hold on, but it doesn't matter,
Okay.
Michael. You
It's
got to
cool.
Try-
It's a
at
whole
least try
show.
the hot
No,
top.
you got to
hot
go over to the
chocolate.
coffee maker,
Yeah.
just to talk to it.
It has a whole all these images. I'm like,
Oh,
does it know
really?
what
Yes.
to say to me on a Wednesday?
I do
morning?
like it's not the K cup. I like that. I like that
It's a
it's
little
the
bit
pouches.
different.
It's a
Yeah,
little more
it's a little
environmentally
different.
friendly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they've
that's
got a
pretty cool.
screen.
Yeah.
and it converses with you.
Yes. And like
Yeah.
today, I had a Ninja Bean.
I don't even know what that is.
You got to
but
go visit it.
Do you
I'm
have to
telling
kill
you.
a guy?
No,
for-
but it
Okay.
does your bean for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, how? I mean, it's yeah. Then they oh, you gotta love this. They were in a what was it called, Kathy? A bean koozie or something.
Something like that.
Like a jacuzzi bath.
But it was like a
with coffee
bean
beans.
koozie or some coffee
Am I
koozie,
supposed
yeah.
to be slightly interested in
It gets better.
inappropriate way?
It's very inappropriate.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there's some of them that are
Okay.
very inappropriate, and it
It's a
insults
snarky-
you.
It's
Yeah,
a-
it's a
snarky
snarky
coffee
It's-
made.
Yes.
It's like it knows when you come up what mood you're in. Like, if you need the soft, like, hey, it's Monday, it's all good, or it's Friday, what's going on tonight?
Because one day I was walking by it and I swore I heard a voice say "F you, man."
Amen.
Was that-
Yes,
what
that's the
was?
coffee.
Kissing it for the
I gotta
Diet Coke.
light my fire one.
Oh, that's right. The light. Yeah, somebody lit his fire. I mean, it was
Her
A
little
nice
Barry
Catholic
White.
boy like you.
a little Barry.
Oh.
Hey, baby, come on over here. Yeah, that's exactly right, Barry White. What kind of business
my.
services do they
my.
offer as part of their package?
Extremely, it's a very simple way to suddenly be plug and play. So, obviously, you have a very quiet, nice, professional office. It's not just some phone booth sized office. It looks as modern as you can get. The fact that there's both the Wi-Fi or secure network, I immediately plug in so that I'm secure. You immediately have access to obviously the kitchenette area, but also I have to, and even though we're in the age of no paper, you still find yourself needing to print and copy and scan in volume.
I do. Sometimes I
So
just
they
need
have that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
even though it sounds easy to just buy a $100 printer and set it next to you, cost dollar wise, it's not. And so I am a big user of basically all of the things that they have here.
Well, they've got like a paper cutter too, and like a business station with
Paper
clips.
cutter.
And I will say that
Even when I was a teacher, I wasn't allowed to be near the paper cutter.
oh man,
Yeah.
you look a little accident prone.
Yeah.
I,
You have no idea.
My special ed students were like, Miss Ward, stay away from
this
the
was
stay
this
away
was
from
a
the
paper cutter right here. This was a paper.
Oh gosh, was that really?
No,
Yeah.
I'm just
No.
making it shrapnel.
I was like, see, that's why I had to stay away.
Shrapnel.
Yeah, that's a little bit more of a cool story than
No,
a
but
paper cutter.
probably the most impressive thing is if they're free, your monthly thing, you basically have access to these really modern tech conference rooms where you can do video teleconferencing.
Yes.
It's pretty
You've
impressive,
done one-
like how
you've done-
quickly it
used one of
automates and
those.
connects you in. So that's
Yeah.
pretty slick.
Very cool. And again, you were saying that accident prone. VentureX is good with accident prone people. Kathy dumped an entire glass of water
Nice.
I know.
in studio,
And,
Nice.
and
by-
nothing blew up.
By the grace of God, it didn't hit anything electronic
See?
and kill us.
And
Yeah,
you
that's
didn't
why we
kill
had
the
to-
unicorn.
That's why we had to get
Oh,
the
don't!
tablecloth.
Oh, you had to
Well,
go
if the
there.
unicorn
Really?
was here, that probably
I
would
knew
have
I
sopped
liked.
it up.
I knew I liked Michael.
Michael, really?
Well, so
really?
weird because
Unicorns are
magical.
no, but they're passe now. You got to go to
Thank you.
Pugacorn,
Oh yeah, or
Pugacorn.
llamacorns.
llamacorn.
Yeah.
Narwhals are big right
Oh,
now.
I love narwhals.
Now,
I love
you know why he
narwhals.
knows all this.
Narwhals are. I know what you're gonna say. Narwhals are the unicorn of the
That's
sea.
right, that's
Just
right.
Yeah,
saying.
you know why he knows
because
all
he's got
of
a
this.
daughter who just turned 10. I get it. and I'm 53.
and a little one that's turning 5. So
Oh,
I'm,
wow.
So
Oh.
I'm
10
girl
and
dad.
5, girl dad. That's why he knows these things, not because
That's
he's
right.
53.
Hey, you know what? My dad always told
not
me.
because I'm a little weird.
My dad, well, I am a lot weird, by the way. I celebrate my weirdness. That's okay. That's all right. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
My dad always taught me
Yeah.
that age is a state of mind. And so it is. And so if you want to think unicorns are still magical at age 53 and it keeps you young at heart,
Does
there's nothing wrong with that.
does that mean I can tell my parole officer I'm just a minor?
Amen.
Is that what?
Yes, that's what it means. If you believe it,
He's a former judge. Let's see what he
yeah,
says.
living in fantasy land.
And
My-
that's what you would have said. Gavel down.
Our hire number 1, my lead of dev
Yeah.
on our technology, he went to high school with you.
Oh, really?
At
yeah.
Plano East Senior High?
He's like JP.
What year did he graduate?
I think he's younger than you, Joey Allen. But
Oh,
he's-
I know Joey. I
yeah, he's
graduated
just
same
like
year.
two doors down.
Really?
I believe he was a student
We'll have to
there when
get him
I was a
on.
teacher
Oh,
there.
you were a teacher there?
I was a teacher there.
What sort of
when these-
incestual
yeah.
show is this?
Oh, baby. She likes my butt. She likes your
No,
chest.
okay.
It's all gotten good.
Shut it down.
This
So,
is going.
okay.
This is
No,
going Criminal Minds
this- I
SVU
know,
real
this is
fast.
like JP
Or
will throw-
PESH. Criminal Minds,
JP will throw that out there,
PESH.
make it like, oh, and yeah, well, Kathy was my teacher. And I was like, no, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
how it
We had a
happened.
very interesting relationship.
No, he was running for justice.
was the
of
drill
the
team.
As an
peace.
18-year-old.
She was the
I've
drill
heard,
team
yeah.
teacher.
18-year-old,
She
yes.
was hot.
He was running for
in high school.
JP.
Oh.
I was a brand new teacher, and
We went
I was
out
in
for
Young
dinner a couple
Republicans.
times.
Somebody said, "Hey, he's running for office. He's a Republican too. He's a young Republican like you." Okay, so there was nothing inappropriate.
There were
ever.
dinners.
We had-
Let
we
the
had- I've seen
words-
pictures.
let
I
the
have
record
that
show.
picture
At
of
dinner.
Kathy
Yeah.
after college, or when she got out of high school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dinners at
Oh,
the Pesh
yeah.
Pond. Thank you, teacher.
You would have.
Yeah.
I was truly like valedictorian, straight A, perfect student. So you would have liked me.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, you would have been a teacher's pet.
Oh, my mom was a teacher. My grandma, my aunt.
so you
You didn't have a choice.
No, my mom said you can study hard or kiss a lot of ass. I was like,
did
oh,
both. You did both.
Yeah, so I did both.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
that's a good one.
Our
did
class,
both.
they put
That's a
a
good
big
one.
barrel, 50-gallon barrel in the middle of the pond that said "Can't drive 55" with a little slash.
Oh. And how's that fit?
It's at Plano East.
How's that fit?
It was at Plano East. You were talking about.
Did you say that Kathy's got a nice butt now? Jesus, this show's out of
Oh, gosh,
control.
don't get Charles in
Oh,
trouble.
well, if we could flash Michael's card up there one more time. You do a lot of work for small businesses.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
The primary purpose of the software is not just to help the U.S. government, especially the Department of Defense, improve their supply chain from a national security perspective to keep these aircraft in the air at a higher readiness level. But what we're creating is actually a way for all small manufacturing entities to basically be found. So middle America has been left behind by the digital revolution, if you will. And you've got these massive manufacturers that are gee whiz and they can do anything. But then you've got these small places all through Texas and Oklahoma, like thousands of small mom and pops that can make any part you can ever imagine for the oil field, for the automotive industry, for the Air Force. They just don't know how to be found. They're good.
Right.
They can make a part, but they don't. Some of them don't even have websites. Some of them don't know some of the basics. So to connect to these individuals in an old-fashioned sense is the sort of software we're developing.
Very cool. And again, he's got some information on
Oh,
there
love
from the
it.
site. And so look for Michael. If you are a small business and you're wanting to connect and
Yeah.
you've got a widget that fits a niche, I bet
Yes,
these guys
absolutely.
can help you find the place
Absolutely,
to put your
that's
widget.
what we do.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, Michael, tell them real quick how to get a hold of you.
Website's the easiest mechanism. That the email there, michael.morford@sustainment.tech, is also the best way. I would suggest not coming by the house at 2 a.m.
Yeah, please
That's okay for some people, but I prefer email.
Yeah, the IEDs go out in the yard.
Yeah,
and
not so
all that
much.
stuff.
Yeah.
Don't come by. Yeah,
Well, we
don't come by.
appreciate you. Will
Well,
you come
Michael,
back on
thank
the
you
show
for
again?
dropping by.
Always.
We'd love
Well,
it.
we'd love to have
I
you
can
back
go.
on.
I can go across that line of appropriateness fast.
You know what? Then
We will welcome you.
Next time you'll need to come on a Friday because
Oh, yeah, Friday's
that's when
crazy.
we're
Friday.
when we were on the radio. We
Now
used
you
to call
sound like
ourselves,
her. You want a
yeah.
unicorn? Help me out
We
here.
used to
Michael.
call ourselves Friday. We used to call ourselves AM Shock
He's got
Jocks
little
on
girls.
Friday.
He's got 5 and 10-year-old girls.
When you
That's
say
why.
he's got little
I
girls, Charles. That sounds a little bit like sounds a little bit like
not
Blues
in his
Brothers.
tongue.
I had a little girl too.
How much for the little
Daughters,
girl?
not in his
They
trunk.
Daughters,
drive-
okay, daughters.
They drive them a little bit. He drives them a little batty, I'm sure. So
I'm
that's why
sure.
he's, letting go now.
Oh, somebody help us.
Somebody help us. Well, Michael,
it's
thank you for
great
stopping
meeting
Absolutely.
you.
by. And
Come on.
Good to
again,
meet
we'll
you.
have you come back over again.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks. Have a
Anytime.
great
All right.
day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, it is currently 8:33 here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We are JP, Kathy, and the crew. We come to you live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 to 9 right here on the JP, Kathy, and the crew network. Very excited to announce that we've got Ask Dr. Be Good that's joined the network on Sundays at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Yep.
We've got Jeremy Rosenthal with Rosenthal and Barbary Law Firm out of McKinney. They're going to
Yep.
be talking all of the criminal law and craziness that goes with that on Thursdays from 12 to 1 p.m. And then we've got other shows coming online, a financial show with a husband and wife who are both experts, and to hear them chat is hilarious. So, it doesn't matter if you're an expert or knowledgeable. Women and men don't always agree on everything financial.
Well, we did, and women and men a lot of times they can agree on the end goal, but how they get from point A to point B is different. Everybody's like, oh yeah, we know that. But it's one of those things that it's fun to watch, and it's fun to watch all of these shows unfold, and we love having them as part of the JP, Kathy, and the Crew network. This is
We do.
why we took this leap of faith, and we were so fortunate that God put Charles and Corley right back in our lives and in our lives at the appropriate time, and just feel very, very fortunate to have such a great team, and then for everything to have worked out here at Venture X. You and I literally, we were looking with Corley and Charles on what microphones to buy and cameras and all this, and then all of a sudden this opportunity came along at Venture X. God's good, and he's encouraged us to take this leap of faith, and we're so happy we did it.
Oh, I am on. So first, I want to comment on Mike.
He's
That is a
awesome.
true, that's like, if you want to know what success looks like, and if you want to know
Oh, yeah.
what it feels like, and if you're wondering, if you're confused right now, that's what it looks like.
Yep.
That's what it. Take notes, because those are the people you want to be around. You
Good
can just pull his
energy.
energy. Yeah,
I think he's a veteran too. I think
He's a veteran. Absolutely. I picked that up
Yes.
as well.
And we didn't. So Mike, thank you, Michael.
Well, we'll
thank
have
you
him
so
back.
much for your
Hugely
service.
successful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'd love to hear about which branch of the military he was in and all that.
He
kind
is
of good
Marine.
stuff. Talk about cool.
I don't know that. I'm just saying.
You're just
he has
saying,
to be a
well,
Marine.
whatever branch. Thank you for your service, and I love a person that can come in here with all of us, because we're a
brilliant.
mess, and just literally immediately go with the flow.
Shouldn't you be speaking for yourself?
He's brilliant.
He's brilliant.
Raise your hand if you like our last guest, Michael.
Oh, I do. I like him.
Raise your hand if you thought he went with the flow very well.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Okay,
really good.
so see, the answer was yes to both.
But-
No, but you're out of control though. That was the
duh.
part I was talking about.
Well,
I'm
duh.
not. I'm in control.
No, you're a little unhinged sometimes.
That's why I pray.
Well, and prayer is a large reason why the four of us are together. And I love that we pray before and after a lot of our ventures together and our talks and everything. I think it makes us stronger as a team, and
Well, it does.
we love that.
But we don't want dissertation.
Okay, now, y'all were talking about when I was a teacher, so now I feel like I need to fill up the next 55 minutes.
I can tell this. I know, right?
And Charles, will you please turn the lights off until everybody is behaving appropriately?
Clap on.
What?
Clap off.
Didn't you ever have teachers
sorry.
who turn the lights on and off?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
So when you speak of prayer, so
Yes.
when I was on one side of the political spectrum, it was by default, and being black, I grew up in New York, and mom's very Southern belle, father's a very Virginian fiscal, but anyway, prayer. When I went to my first Republican meeting, so if you all are out wondering, here's just one piece of the other side. They pray before every meeting, and it's the strangest thing to because the other side kind of feels like, well, everyone, you just got to come,
Just got to show
just
up.
got to check it out.
Well,
It's
and you're
feel the
I mean,
faith.
There's a tip for you.
And
Yeah.
you
We're
are
gonna get you.
Yeah.
you are a
Amen.
fellow Christian. You're very strong in your belief, and So did that feel welcoming to you when you first came, or was it odd because it wasn't in a church setting?
Wow. So what could be more welcoming than
Then the,
Let's
than
all
the word
back.
of God.
Yeah, just leave it at that.
I mean, yeah, it's funny. People are like, and I've had people, gosh, back, I remember being a county commissioner, somebody who was a Democrat who didn't like me, and there were Republicans that didn't like me too, just set the record straight. But I'll never forget, they're like, oh, I'll be praying for you, Commissioner. And I said, well, thank you. I'm like, even if it's angry prayer,
That's good.
for the love of God, I will take it. I'll take all the prayer I can get.
It's a good thought.
So,
You know, if you had to put your mind to it, what would you say would probably be the most trending thing on social media? Here we are. We have launched ourselves onto social media.
well, it's
We
not
have-
us. We wish we want it to be.
Well, I've launched myself. Yeah, you have.
No, we want to be trending. Hashtag
Oh no, but we've
trending.
launched ourselves though.
Yes.
On the
follow
social
us,
media.
like us, follow us, like us. Isn't that what Corley says to
Oh,
say?
okay, but we got to change it up though. Remember, we're doing something different. Remember,
Oh.
okay. I say follow us. You in between say like us. Ready?
Okay.
Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Follow us.
In between. You said in between say like us. Oh, so wait. So rewind.
No, oh wow.
Rewind.
Wow.
I need more coffee.
Yeah, wow.
In
Kathy,
between.
when I say follow us, you say, yeah, yeah.
Professional daredevil.
Evil Knievel. I am not.
I'm the professional daredevil,
Okay,
except
okay,
with you.
Start again.
So, all right, I say follow us. You say like us. Are you ready?
You knew I had to do that. To
Yes,
bust your
yes, I
chops.
know. Are you ready, Chop Buster?
Yes.
All right, we need to create a gizmo, by the way, called the Chop Buster from JP.
And we
Kathy
will
and the crew.
trademark it, and there you go.
It
Hashtag
needs
that.
to be like your mouth, my teeth, gnashing on
Busted
somebody.
chops.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. You ready? Follow us.
Like us.
Follow us.
Like us.
No, follow us.
Like us.
Follow us.
Like us.
Okay,
Some
that's
more.
close. We can get you more excited.
There you
I do
go.
like how you would do your jazz hands, though, or whatever
And yet,
those are.
mine are jazz hands. Yours are what?
Mine are absolutely fantastic hands.
No, but you said you weren't doing jazz hands. You were doing
no,
something.
mine are like, I don't remember, like, I don't know, jazz fun hands or something. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, there's not a step up above
Okay,
jazz
try
hands.
again.
It's either-
Follow us.
Like us.
Follow us.
Like us.
No, it's got to be more. It got to be melodious. You sing these songs.
I sound like a cheerleader.
No,
I
but-
used to be.
No, but it's got to be more melodious. Follow us.
Like us.
Better. Follow
but that-
us.
I don't know that I like that. Like us.
Now, ready? Now we pick up the pace. Follow us.
Like us.
No, more power.
I don't know. I've got.
Where's your diaphragm at?
I've got to feel it.
Where's your diaphragm?
Well, down low here.
Well,
I've got to feel
what
it.
do you mean you don't feel it? You don't want people to like us?
I do.
Yeah, down here.
I'm going to have to come with something. Yeah, I'm giving an anatomy lesson. It's the muscle below your stomach. It's below your stomach,
You're gonna
right?
follow him one day, and I don't know if we're
Fall
gonna
to a
be
river?
gone over. I don't know what's gonna happen. But he
Corley's
takes
like,
you
"But
and you
I'll be
follow right
back."
with him. I love it. It's a great show.
He's like, I'll be sitting back.
It's a great show.
and now you're part of us now. Now you're one of us.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
you have been.
Corley's like, oh, please,
happy to be
somebody
here.
help
You've
me.
been
Very happy
indoctrinated.
to be here.
Oh,
Hey!
listen to that.
That was like an 80s game.
Pole position.
That's pole position,
you know who
man.
we need to have as a sponsor?
Ooh.
Free Play.
Oh no, we don't. I got a story. Remember? You remember I busted their chops after they wouldn't let Courtney in and the driver's license thing and all that. I'm done with those people.
Oh man, because I still like that place.
What is it?
Free Play. It's like a 80s arcade almost.
80s arcade, and they have a bar.
And you pay like a certain amount of money to
In
get
McKinney?
in.
No, they're in Garland.
This one's in
Or
Richardson.
Richardson.
This one you go
There's
in
a
and you
geek
play.
place in Frisco.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that Nerdvana.
Yeah, we need to go there.
Nerdvana is
So
awesome. we
rising
need them to
social,
sponsor us.
so rising social media trends
Okay,
in
sorry.
2020.
20 minutes later. Well, so what's the answer, JP?
Well, what do you think should be the number one? If what's a rising social media trend in 2020?
The presidential election.
No, selling.
That was-
Selling socially equals personalization. They say that that's the trend, and that's where the landscape is and has been for years. But it's showing more and more opportunities and growth in terms of social media landscape, personalization, and
There you
selling,
go.
branding, socially.
Interesting.
Yeah, very very interesting.
So if you would have asked that a different way, I would have answered that. That's good.
Just,
Right.
just
So-
FYI.
So you
that's
ask me, and I'll answer.
Very good.
So
So,
what will be the number two trending thing? Ask me what all that's about.
Do we have this list somewhere?
How
I
you
don't
would
know
ask.
about
I don't
it?
have a list.
how I would ask that question?
Yes.
How has buying changed over the past 5 years?
Oh, that's a good.
So in other
question.
words, we're not product based anymore. We're customer needs, and people want to be connected to what they buy, and thus we make that connection. They're more loyal. So the more UVP you can find, in other words, unique value proposition you can find about yourself, which distinctly separates you from the rest of the pack, then the better you are.
Well,
antithetical to the whole
So then everybody
identity
would be
politics.
walking down the street with different sponsors tattooed on their bodies and stuff like that.
on their butts. So
Oh,
social
and just-
commerce is
And I want to talk about people who tattoo their dogs on Friday. And I want to, well, we don't have time Friday, next Monday, because I'm so mad about people who put tattoos on their dogs' bodies.
Oh,
it's horrible.
I didn't
It's
know that- I
horrible.
didn't know that was a
And I
thing.
want to hear
That
from
happened.
Courtney on this one.
well, they'll bring her
Yeah,
Monday. That's
yeah,
why she got to come Monday.
yeah.
Well, did they
All
ask the dog? But anyhow,
Okay, well,
we'll
Monday.
talk about it Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
So social commerce is on the rise. The audiences thrive on consuming media that is built for them. So you're absolutely right. It's the customer experience, that connection. Absolutely. So this is on socialbakers.com. It's on their blog.
Right.
And these are the top media trends, social media trends on their blog. Number 2 social media trend, Instagram. And Instagram, how do you know if you're popular or not? On social media. How do you know
If you're TikTok, now it's if you're TikTok famous.
No, how do you know? Like, I've got a page.
Likes, follows,
Right. Likes, follows.
comment, shares.
Guess what Instagram is doing?
What?
Hiding the likes.
Oh, that's right. I'd heard about that.
Yes,
Because
and-
we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Oh my goodness.
Right. So Instagram is going to hide the likes. Only the individual gets to see the number of likes on the page. So nobody else gets to see them. And
You could put out there, I just got 12 likes. I just got another like. I just got another like in your own
Right.
comments.
well, and it is
Can you do
because
that on Instagram?
they claim the growing awareness of mental health, particularly in regards to online mediums and how it's impacting people.
Oh, and I think especially JP, and this is in another show that we're going to be bringing back in a longer format, and we're so happy for this, is a mental health moment show, so we can dive deeper into these things, because I think, and we've talked about this on the show, we have not even seen the tip of the iceberg for the devastation that will come from the mental health impact of COVID and Corona. Suicide rates are up, spousal abuse is up, drug and alcohol dependency is up. I think people's self-esteem, as people have either gained more weight or they're not going out as often. They're not getting out. They're not going to that concert or that sporting event or that restaurant with family for a birthday celebration. And I think that's all just leading us to a road towards disaster, and that really scares me, especially for the younger kids. And so what they're seeing on social media from their friends with 20 filters, and somebody going, "Oh, I just woke up." No, you didn't. You've been working on that pose, and you've taken 20 different filters, selfie shots to get that
yeah.
perfect pose.
Yeah.
I mean. So what you see I've always tried to explain to my kids, a lot of what you see on social media is not a true depiction of even 90% of what that person's got going on. But they see it, and kids just, I think they fall into that trap.
That's brilliant. We're actually like, the mental piece is really important, because like we're never alone.
Right.
So yeah, we're never alone, and so what's going to happen with that? Who's doing that study? I would be curious to see
Yeah.
what that looks like.
Yep.
Absolutely. Currently 8:43 here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We are JP, Kathy, and the crew. We come to you live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 to 9 here on the JP, Kathy, and the Crew Network.
We do, and we're happy to do so.
Yep.
Currently, we've got a sunny day in Frisco, headed towards a high of 100 and a low of 80.
Yep. So back to social media and what's going on.
Why does it say no signal on our little thingy over there?
Well, because there's
Or we
no
can
signal.
usually see ourselves?
The HDMI 2 is no longer plugged in or something like that. So anyways,
So, Corley's like, Kathy will just stop anything and say anything,
Yeah,
except
pretty
when
much.
I'm in church.
yeah, pretty much.
Except when I'm in church.
We need a Catholic priest to
I mean,
call in.
literally, it's like it just whatever. That just popped into my mind, so I'm going to say it.
So how then can you find out what's trending, what's not trending? if you can't get likes? How do businesses know where to target? How do businesses know that they're actually reaping the
Yelp
benefit of what
reviews?
they're doing? No, what they're saying is that brand influencers will need to look at doing Instagram ads
Interesting.
because the ads will give you the feedback
and those
that you're looking at.
influencers,
Makes sense.
they can make well, you know, this is your business. Those influencers can make a bajillion.
So you bring up influences in a station, but we talked about leaders 2 or 3 shows ago.
Yes.
We have a lot of influences in politics. We have a lot of influence in. I'm gonna leave it like that.
And Corley Randolph.
Evolving performance matrix. Another big part of social media.
Meaning what?
Well, I mean, it's finding out how are we doing, right? How do we know what we're doing? How do we know we're
your
performing?
measurements that say, well, and then again, it depends on who's determining what that metrics or what the rubric system looks like for that, I guess.
Well,
So is that the person who dictates how?
Something and do something. They know more about you than. I mean, it's a lot of information. So when you buy something, you notice when you buy something, and then all of a sudden you're on Facebook, and that thing comes up or another item like it.
Facebook is listening.
Shampoo you use.
Yeah.
everything. I mean, Facebook knows exactly for it or have looked it up
Oh,
once.
you have that conversation. It's the scariest thing. Well, and we're actually going to make and we haven't even had a chance to talk to Corley and Charles about this. We're going to have a new Friday segment, not this coming Friday because we've got a full show, a very serious full show. But the following Friday, we're going to start talking about, what did you call it? COVID.
Oh yeah, COVID-19 or COVID consumer products.
Yes. And we're going to talk about things
Fail
like on
or
Facebook
success.
and things like that. Like, are you, well, for example, there was one kind of like health and beauty thing that I just did, like opened it up in Safari, looked at it, what people were saying about it. And every product, even anywhere near close to it, is what exactly popped up in my Facebook feed the rest of the weekend.
Wow.
Did you know everything you said today? Well, you'll probably get stuff.
Oh,
You don't even have to search
yes.
for it
there will
it's
be something
listening.
about a unicorn.
Because it's listening on your phones.
Yep.
Right.
And you don't even have to have the app open. That's what's
No.
creepy.
So with a lot of the social,
truth
well,
is out
Instagram
there.
starting it to get rid of what they call the vanity metric, the likes, the follows, that kind of thing. They're saying that the graphics and the demographics are going to change, so the engagement has to change, and they're going to look for something that's more focused on actual outcomes, and so that's going to be harder, very much so, because people are going to have to actually do something versus just like something or follow something and then pick it up from there. They're going to have to actually be able to go in and find out what that outcome was. What did that action that person
So
took?
like a comment or like go and look at reviews, because then
potentially.
there are some companies, and you know this, there are some companies that they'll bring people in and they're paid to write reviews.
True. So change. So everything's getting more rigorous. I'll start there. Is it good? I'd like to hear from the listeners.
Yeah,
Do you
we'd
want
like to know what the
more
crew
information
says.
or less
Yeah.
information or less information?
Yeah.
Chime in on us there on the comment section when you're on our social media looking at that. Let us know. What are your thoughts? Do you want more? Do you want less? Is it too much?
Is it an invasion of privacy?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah,
When
and
is
I
enough
think
enough?
I wonder,
Right.
JP, do you think that, and this is a question for the crew, do you think feeling like it's invasion of privacy or not depends on your age? Because I know my daughter, when makeup products pop up that she talked about with her friends, she's like, oh, and I get a coupon if I do this and I can get 20% off and this is all good. Whereas I'm like, oh, that's creepy. But then
Yeah.
again, I'm much older than her, so I have a different vantage point.
see, for me, I'm all about it. I like it because I like to look at the new stuff that they've got coming out. Like they've got, you know how women can go on and they buy a box every month and they send you this box and it's got makeup in it or it has
Or
conditioners
clothes
They've
or
got-
even a puppy box.
They've got a man box now.
Man box.
Yeah, for men.
That
And they
doesn't
put
sound
a sor-
appropriate.
Come,
I don't
come
know.
on
That
over
sounds
here,
kinda-
baby. I'll show you
How
what's
you
appropriate.
doing?
Man, Bob.
sit on my lap, young lady.
I know.
Yeah.
You all know the
Okay.
SNL
Weird
skit.
Santa. Yeah, we're about to be an SNL.
Never mind.
skit. No.
Never mind.
box.
So does it have meant like shaving
Sorry.
cream
Mom, I'm
or?
Yeah, well,
sorry.
it's all kinds of different stuff
Yeah,
that men would use.
I know what I just ding 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 just got it. Yeah. Okay. So that's just it's going to be determined
it's a
on.
man box.
And
You
can
put
you
in
send
some
back
data.
what you don't like?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
But it's
So
just a
they
box.
eventually fine tune it to the point where you will accept it and pay full price for it every month.
It's like $35 a month.
Are you doing it?
I'm considering it.
Oh,
Strongly
if you do
considering
that,
it.
you've got to bring it in studio.
Oh, I will. Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's like one of those open box things, box opening things. Like it's not been opened before yet.
Right.
Oh, and I need to do it for a girl or for my dog.
Yeah. Amen.
Chuck, are you an online shopper or are you hands-on in the store?
I have not been Christmas shopping in the store in probably 6 years.
Wow, you guys are way ahead of your time.
I do both because I like going to the store because I get out and I get to be social, and I like to be online.
It's so hard
Yeah,
to
I
find
like
what
a
you want
combination of both.
to get people.
I've said 50-50. That's what I've done.
I've turned more online. During COVID, probably made that switch to a little bit more online.
Starting the 1st of Lent, or 1st of Advent. Excuse me.
Okay.
We try to have everything bought before the 1st of Advent. So
Oh wow,
So
some pre-planning.
social media, where's it going? It's going video content. Video content is still what is driving. It's not slowed down. So like what we're doing, very much what needs to be on social media.
So sponsors, you have an opportunity.
Right. Cisco says that by 2022, 82% of all content online will be video.
It'll be more than that.
Wow.
That's good. That's good.
So that's what Cisco
Cisco,
says.
yeah.
Wow,
that's good.
interesting.
Number 5, niche platforms will grow.
I believe that. I think because as we become more advanced technology wise, well, I mean, nowadays I can literally go in and search for a specific product. Dr. Darrigan, Dr. Dave, when he mentioned the pulse oximeters, I went and started looking them up. And of course, one pops up that's pink. And I'm like, well, I think I like that one. Well, they probably pop that up in the top 3 because it's me and they know what I search for. And they know, probably 75% of the things I buy, if it's a color, I can buy it. It'll be pink or red. So you can. Whereas before you would have had to have looked through a catalog, or it would have been such a broad search, and you would have searched through pages and pages and pages. Now you can just, literally, by the time I leave here today, I will have ordered one of those.
Oh, absolutely.
And
They got you.
Seriously, they got me.
good.
Yeah.
So college football.
Yes. So Monday there was, where was Chris O'Sullivan, a dear friend of ours, a member of the crew, had posted on Facebook the latest story on that. So what JP, and we kind of predicted this on Monday.
Yeah. So they've already put a delay on the season now. Your 5 superpowers, ACC, Big 12, SEC, Big 10, and Pac-12. Pac-12 is going to go with the Big 10. The Big 10 says we're done. We're not playing football. Nothing's been voted on. However, late Monday, it was released that college football would delay at this point. Players have said enough's enough. You're going to listen to us now. We are going to have a say-so in this. And so they have created hashtag We Are United times hashtag We Want to Play. And this is what they've sent out to the 5 bigs. We all want to play football this season. Establish a universal mandated health and safety procedure and protocol to protect college athletes against COVID-19 among all conferences throughout the NCAA. Give players the opportunity to opt out and respect their decision.
Well, like they did in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
You had an opt out in the NFL.
We're going to get to that here in a second.
And I knew we never got to talk about that publicly. So
Yeah. Guarantee eligibility whether a player chooses to play the season or not, and use our voices to establish open communication and trust between players and officials, ultimately creating a college football players association. Now, yeah, think about that now. Hold on a minute. They threw that in there, right? We're going to take a quick station identification break. It is currently 11:53 here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We are JP, Kathy, and
11:53.
the
Try 8:53.
I don't know why I say that. 8:53 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Thank you for the
Because
correction.
what is it? What was in that clear cup?
Boy, you don't want to know. Whew.
Corley, I need to smell that.
Yeah, you don't.
I
That's
know
why I
you
put the lid
needed
on.
bourbon on Monday.
Well,
I
and
know, right?
And you know what?
You
I never
did.
see JP. Occasionally, he'll drink a root beer at a restaurant. So he's got Coca-Cola. So I'm wondering, is that bourbon in there?
Yeah, it could be.
I'm going to give it the smell test after
You
the show.
sure are not going to. So
That tells
we're
me
on
everything I need
JP,
to
Kathy, and the
do.
Crew Network. And so, what's our weather for today?
All right, 100 degrees, triple digits. It's going to be hot, so make sure you stay hydrated. I'm saying that because, of course, Dr. Clothier and Dr. Dave will be very proud of me if I say that. But remain hydrated, stay cool. Make sure you take care of your fur babies, keep them cool and in the shade and inside. And if they're outside, please make sure they've got plenty of fresh water. So
There you go.
high of 100 again.
So, College Football Players Association legislation out there to, of course, pay them to play college football. We're going to go about another 6 minutes here on this deal. Yeah, we're going to go till 9.
Okay.
We're going to go till 9.
Are we
All
out
right.
of control?
We are. Well, it was only 8:53.
Okay,
so
we're
we're
out
going
of
to go till
control.
9.
We're out of control.
So, here we go.
Charles is like, I'm
Right.
out of here.
Charles like,
Y'all are
I'm
talking
done.
bourbon and
Long
Coke.
What's that?
It's all right.
Yeah, it's
You
all
got
right.
it's your network.
It's all right. It's my network.
It's our network.
It's partly yours too. You have a
It's
full.
all
you
of
have- you have
ours.
part. Anyways, point is that the players have come together and they've said we want to play football, and it's partially being led by Trevor Lawrence, who's the Heisman Trophy candidate and quarterback for Clemson.
Clemson,
Okay,
the long blonde-haired boy.
that's right, Mr. Handsome. And so
He looks like a Disney prince. That's what that's all the young
Right.
girls say. Well, just saying.
Bowles Rencher, Alabama running back Najee Harris, Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields, Oklahoma State running back Chuba Hubbard, Oregon's Penei Sewell, Johnny Johnson III, Javon Holland, and Kayvon Thibodeau, Utah's Nick Ford, Washington State's Dallas Hobbs, and Michigan's Hunter Reynolds have all said, we want to play football. Put some things into place. Let us play football. And so the commissioners are saying we're not playing football. We're going to probably cancel the season. That's what was all over Monday's headlines. Monday and then Tuesday came out with we're delaying. So that's been the ongoing message. We're going to delay the start of the season. The Big 12
So stand by.
jumping on board with all that. Not a fan. Big 12 and SEC need to say, the Pac-12. Big 10, you guys don't. You're not an impact anyways. The teams that you have might make the back 15.
I do
So,
want to
we don't
know
care.
your opinion, and we may have to continue this
So do I.
discussion another day. But I do want to hear a little bit of what, because I think it was like 60 NFL players
Yes.
decided to
Oh,
opt
yeah.
out.
Yes, they did.
And it was interesting your immediate take on that when I said, oh, hey, because it was like last week I said there's 1 hour left till the deadline of NFL players being able to opt out because of COVID. And you were
I went viral.
you lost your mind.
I did.
You didn't even ask, well, why are they doing that? Because some guys, like, I understand if your wife's home pregnant, I can see that. JP, you went off.
Well, we've got good old-fashioned regular citizens who are out there having to be essential workers, do their thing. They get paid marginal wages, and their wives are pregnant, and
They still have to go to work.
they go to work, and their wives and babies catch COVID-19.
Well, not all of them, and hopefully they don't.
But they have those, what I'm getting at.
Right.
Because it's just going to happen. It's part of the deal, right? And so if these essential workers are out there doing the essential, yeah, I know.
She's right there, man.
Right there. Doing the essential
You're saying it.
needs.
She can hear
You gotta
you.
whisper those things.
She can hear you.
But if they're essential and they're doing their essential job, don't you think they need a little relaxation? So doesn't it make you the entertainer, depending on whatever sport it is, your responsibility to entertain so that these essential employees can continue to do their job at a top rate? Doesn't that make you essential?
You have zero tolerance for anybody opting out on
I like
this.
how you phrase it.
Yeah. I mean, it truly is. It makes you essential. Entertainment is essential for the working man and woman.
Specifically,
Well-
sports in America is religious.
It is what it is, and
And
especially
I'm
in the
just
great
saying that's
state
a
of
great.
Texas.
That's a good argument.
In the great state of Texas, it is.
And think about this for a minute. They've done it on purpose. These sporting entities have done this on purpose to build this foundation of it's a religion in America, sports are.
So one thing we learned like how we filter things. To your point, and don't forget your thought. I'm sorry if I cut
No,
you
no,
off.
no. Go ahead.
Oh, I do it all
I'm
the time.
learning.
It's okay.
I didn't mean to do that.
You'll be just fine.
He's getting bad habits from me.
When anything happens like that, you ask, who's it benefiting?
Okay.
Who's it benefiting and who is not benefiting? So you
Right.
just kind of start there, and you can pretty much find out why things are happening. It's pretty simple questions. It sounds simple, but I guarantee you that even if you're talking to someone that doesn't you're not really understanding them, and you have a different point of view, you can how is what they're saying benefiting them?
Okay.
It'll help you to kind of filter through the person you're talking to.
Right.
It's all about understanding, right? I hate to keep going back there, but everything just
it's-
kind of leads back
It's
to.
true.
That's a great argument, though. By the way,
Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
good point.
Senator, and I don't know if I'm going to say his name right. Senator, is it Sassy from Nebraska?
Yeah, Sassy, right?
I think
Sass.
it's
No,
Sass
Sass.
from Nebraska.
Sass, yeah.
Wrote a letter to the Big Ten and the chancellors and said we should not cancel college football. He said life is about trade-offs. There are no guarantees that college football will be completely safe. That's absolutely true. It's always true. But the structure and discipline of football programs is very likely safer than the lived experience of 18 to 20-year-olds will be if there isn't a season. And he was a college president.
Yeah.
So he understands, and he agrees that there needs to be something
it's
done.
part
But
of the
play
reason
football.
we're always talking about getting the kids back into school, because when you're young, I mean, at my age, I can sit home and binge watch something on Netflix or Prime, Amazon Prime or Prime, and I'm fine because I'm older. I've had my big fun times. Not that I don't still, but when you're that age,
Yeah.
you're supposed to be out socializing with your peers, having a great time.
If they're
Truancy judge.
right, and that's what Senator Sass is saying.
Yep.
If they're not playing football, these 18 to 22-year-olds are going to be out doing something. Structure it if they're safer playing football.
And we love you too, Kathy, for being
We do.
here. We love you too,
We do.
JP.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love
Thank
that.
you. Thank you, Corley, for joining the team here, buddy.
Love
We're
y'all.
excited.
This
We're
is
excited
fun.
about Charles
We
as
love
well.
the crew.
All
Spoke
right.
for Charles, sorry.
You know what? We're excited about Friday. Not only do we have the big debate coming on, but we also have PPE. Do not forget.
Yes.
Hashtag.
Positive person experience.
There you go. So make sure you send them
Thank you,
over. Make sure you
Charles.
make it a part of us. Have a blessed Wednesday, everybody.